Yo, what up, YouTube? It's Rye. Let me holler real quick. Always be attentive to what's going on around you. During your journey, it's mind over matter. Your state of mind and your mindset is key to unlocking your truest potential. Understand that you need to pay attention to how people treat you, how you're viewed, what your perspective is, how you're perceived. How you're perceived is everything. That's the gateway to unlocking opportunities and unlocking your truest form. You know, the form that you're in right now is not your final form. This is not your end. It can be if you decide to stay there. Understand this. As you progress, as you level up, each level is going to get harder. As you level up, there's going to be new challenges. If you never train that muscle, it'll never grow. If you're not doing your lunges, you're not working on that muscle every day, or at least in a routine. If you have a routine, you're going to stay stagnant and you're going to get weaker. You're going to unlearn all the progress that you had unintentionally, because that's not what you're trying to do. A lot of times we get a morsel of success and we're not used to it, so we're like, oh, I'm good. But when you started, you wanted more. When you started, you wanted everything. You wanted it all. You wanted to go for it all. Understand that we can't allow ourselves to get a taste, get a little sample, and now we just stay where we at and coast. The worst thing you could do is coast. Coasting is worse than not trying, because if you're not trying, as bad as it sounds, at least you're acknowledging it. At least you're not saying, hey, I give up. Giving up ain't cool. I'm not telling nobody to give up. But I'm saying that if you acknowledge you just want to stay normal, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I like what I do. I'm happy where I'm at. If you're mentally okay with where you're at, that's not a bad thing. People will shame you for, not wanting a fast car and 10 houses. If you cool with where you at, that's the best way to be. You're in the best state of mind. A lot of people, they spend their whole lives hating where they at. If you cool with, I do my thing and I go home, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let nobody shame you for doing your thing and going home. That's the best way to be, because the people that, go through their life vicariously and compare themselves to others and envy people and be like, man, I wish I was them. Why'd they get it? They're miserable. At least you're happy. People try to shame people for wanting to, do their thing and go home and stay out the way. That's the best way to live, if you acknowledging that. But if you're like, hey, I am doing what I do and going home, and I'm staying out the way and staying out the drama, but I also want to move up to the top. But you doing the same thing. You can't do what you do, go home, stay out the way, and expect anything to change, because now you're a hamster on the wheel. You're not moving. So you're gonna have to change your scenery, change the direction. You're gonna have to do something different. You can't just do the same thing and expect different results. So understand that you need to be attentive, and you need to what's going on around you, because if you're not attentive, it's easy to fall into that trap of the days blending together and forgetting where you are, who you are, and what the goal was. Sometimes we get on a detour and we get derailed off of what the goal was, and we forget why we even started. You never want to be put in that position where you lose sight of what's what, especially while you're seeing results. Now you're gonna have to do it all over again, because when you were on a roll, when you had that momentum, you lost momentum. So now you got to get back on. You have to find where you were, start at that starting point again, and then you have to take a detour and go right back where you was. When if you would have just stayed going, you probably could have been at the end zone already. So while you leveling up, you got to train that muscle. You got to train that. If you're not on a routinely training, I'm not saying you got to train it every day even. A lot of people going to say every day. It depends on where you are, because some people, they can just jump right into something and go at it every day. Some people, especially if you've been dealing with, you're coming from a bad spot. Let's say you're coming from a bad place, or you're coming from a bad state of mind. If you go all gas, no brakes onto it, you might gas yourself out, especially if you were in a bad state of mind while you started. So everyone's journey is different. Don't let anyone tell you how your progress should be. Progress is progress. As long as you stand up and moving, and you like, hey, I know I want this, then you're doing the right thing. The only time you're doing something wrong is if you're saying something, but then your actions show something different. That's the only time that, okay, now we have to acknowledge that we're on the wrong path. As long as your words match your actions, if you making baby steps, whether you running, jogging, walking, skipping, it doesn't matter. You still moving. So don't anyone tell you, oh, you should be here. They're not you. Their journey is different from yours. They shouldn't even be looking at you. They need to tell them to worry about themselves. They shouldn't even be worried about your race, your journey, the steps you taking. They need to be worried about their own. So don't let nobody tell you, oh, where you should and shouldn't be, unless you've been messing up. Now, if they saying, yo, you messing up, you fell off the wagon, that's different. But if they critiquing if they critiquing your jump shot, if they critiquing how you hold the bat, if it's working, it's working. Who are they to tell you, oh, you wrong? Who are they to tell you, oh, you doing it wrong? Especially if you're seeing results. Because they're different from you. Y'all want completely different things out of life. They shouldn't even be worried about you for real at the end of the day. But it's time to level up. And the only way to level up is to train that muscle. Train that muscle. Don't lose sight of the goal. You're almost there. But hey, it's Ra. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And you got this, homie. It's already yours.